For anyone who lives in the northern to western side of the island, you might be familiar with the term or the club Northern Stars. On today's episode of Positive Profiles, we're going to be speaking with someone who is indeed a Northern Star, as she shines the light on her story and how she got where she is today. This is Positive Profiles, and I'm your host, Rashid Holder. Celia, welcome to Positive Profiles.
Hi Rashid, thank you so much for having me.
And today you're going to be telling me all about Bajan Fusion and, the brand and also what it entails. But before we get there, we are at your old stomping ground here in the heart of the West, Folkestone Marine Park. So tell me where Folkestone plays, a special role in your life and how it aided in your development.
Great question. So Folkestone definitely plays a major role near and dear to my heart. I actually started here playing basketball.
Oh, you're a
So
b-baller.
yes, from my CP days, BCC days, playing for Barbados, this is where we practice. And so many great memories, playing with other women, young women, not sure what our future was going to look like, but we knew that basketball was going to be that thing to create change in our lives, knowing that there were going to be scholarships coming on stream for us.
And it's funny that you actually, spoke about not knowing what the future entails. And when you put the basketball, the fellas do that trick, they spin it around the finger. It resembles a globe. And I think you are a global woman because basketball took you from the shores of Barbados to the Big Apple. How was that experience for you?
I always say to people, I'm a village girl, yes, with a city flair and an international personality. And I think the basketball has really helped me to elevate myself personally and professionally from a mental attitude perspective to where I can now say, you know what, I can operate on any stage, whether it's local, regional, international.
Tell me about the village girl first.
Village girl, Checker Hall, St. Lucie.
Yeah.
That's where it started. And my aunt raised me though at 2 weeks, and probably like a couple of districts over, Greenwich, St. Lucie. When I think about my aunt, Sybil Hines, she has been instrumental in being very supportive. When my parents weren't really into the basketball, they didn't see what my auntie saw. And my auntie would always say, I can give you bus fare so you could go to practice. And I just knew that even one person believing in me was enough for me to show up at practice, to work hard, and you know what? Reap the benefits. And the benefits came. I was able to play for Barbados junior team, as well as the national team, the senior team. So my aunt had a vision. She saw that basketball could get me somewhere, and it really, truly did.
And it not just took you somewhere, but it led you to the Big Apple, the big city.
Yes, yes.
So you went now from being the village girl, as you said, to being the city girl with a little bit of flair.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you have endless stories that you could share.
So many stories.
Share some of the most profound and positive stories that, your New York experience definitely impacted you.
It first starts with living in the Caribbean versus living in the US is very different. Yes, we're all black, but they look at us differently, even with our accents. I think what helped me was I had to learn to speak slower.
Yeah.
Yes, and pronunciate.
You have to enunciate
my words
correctly.
And because Americans have a way of Caribbean people, we can't understand you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they really respect us the way that we know that we deserve to be respected. So for me, I really had to slow down and work on how I communicated. So even coming back and speaking to girls at schools, they'd be like, ma'am, why are you talking like that? Because I was trained, you were in a new environment, and if you wanted people to connect with you, you had to kind of meet them where they were at as well. So that was a really tough experience, but it was necessary because it supports me. So when I'm ready to break out in Bajan, I could break out in Bajan. Yes, but when it's time to speak properly so people can really understand you, you can connect with anyone, it really makes a difference.
So you know, obviously, time and place.
Yes.
And you know, time is one of those things that, you know, I think you alluded to it earlier whilst we were off camera, that we don't know what is going to happen in the future, so we got to make the best use of our time.
Absolutely.
And you know, things change in life. What brought you back home?
You got time?
I think we got some time.
Right. So after once I got the scholarship to Pace University, I was able to then, from my bachelor's degree, I got my master's in public administration, and then from there I worked for a global financial services company in human resources in HR, and I worked there for 6 years. And I was thinking, all right, I'm going to work there for as long as I can possibly get my PhD, because I went from bachelor's to master's, and get my PhD in organizational development.
You're a study bug, aren't you?
But when the economy tanked in 2008, the company wasn't really renewing a lot of visas, especially if you're not American. That made the process even harder. And I tried everything. I tried to work for the company in London, Australia, anywhere in Europe. It just was not happening. And I had to come to that reality. Wow, after 13 years in the US, I have to now move back to Barbados. And that was one of the toughest times in my life.
No, nowadays we talk about pivoting. So you were forced to pivot.
Yes.
And I was actually watching a podcast the other day that spoke about if you don't have an opportunity, then you create an opportunity. And I think that is probably how Bajan Fusion came about, right?
Yes, absolutely. So probably months before moving back to Barbados, one of my colleagues was like, Celia, they got a new movement in New York playing soca music and reggae. You should come and try it out. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, and they're planning a flash mob. You should do the flash mob too. I said, you want me to dance in front of people in public?
Did you get stage fright?
Not really, but I just couldn't see it. And he was like, man, Celia, you only live once. You're moving back to Barbados. Like, make the last couple of months the best ever. So I was like, all right, that's a challenge for myself. And you had to sign up for it. And I signed up. We went to practice and everything. And we actually executed it in 14th Street. We did the flash mob. I had a blast. And the leader of that movement, she invited me to one of her fitness sessions at the gym that she was working at. And I am in the room and I'm like, well, nobody really look like me. But they're listening to Alison Hines and Lil Ray and Rupee. And I'm like, what?
They know all the songs, all the hits.
Y'all need to come to Barbados. There's no way that you are in New York dancing and having a good time and getting fit to our music. You need to come to Barbados. And that's how the name came up. I'm Bajan and I'm fusing cultures. Bajan Fusion.
Now, how long have you been doing this here in Barbados?
December 31st will be 13 years.
13 years
13
of
years.
Bajan Fusion.
Yes. 2026 will be 14. 2025, 13 years.
So break down the elements for me once again. You said it is fitness. There's an element of the HR practitioner in you there. What else am I missing?
Right, so we do soft adventure and sporting activities. So on any given month, you can experience hiking, archery, paddleboard, horseback riding, anything that get Barbadians out and doing new and different things and challenging themselves to something new as well.
So that's one of the core elements of Bajan Fusion then, like the challenge.
That's how we started with the fitness and the soft adventure. Now core to us is corporate team building and lifestyle workshops. When you think about how companies are challenged with toxic work environments, employees really not getting the support. So when you look at it from an employer standpoint or an employee, both are challenged. And how do we get that healthy medium where they're all saying, we're rowing in the same direction, we want the same things, how can we make that happen? So my role is to really go in as a corporate wellness specialist to help companies see big picture and also help employees see the value that they can add to and contribute to the organization.
Now, Celia, that sounds like a mouthful in terms of what Bajan Fusion does. But I want you to tell us a bit more about Celia and what you do outside of Bajan Fusion. How do you spend your time when you're not doing all that you do within, your brand, your entity?
Celia is a lover of life. Celia loves to connect with people. Celia likes to help people get to the next level, personally and professionally. I love to read. I love to listen to podcasts. When I think about YouTube, they tell you like your year. And my profile was, I'm a self-improver. So anything about just improving myself, whether it's reading, watching, listening to things, anything that makes me better, I do.
You forget the laughing part. But I mean, like, we've done a lot of that
Laughing.
off of the camera.
Yeah.
You know, and even at the boxing day lines that we've attended.
Yes.
So, you know, you could tell us some more about, you know, what you do to enjoy yourself, how you enjoy life.
Recently, I picked up tennis, and
How's that going?
I love the community element of it. When you think about life and living, you can't just focus on being in the bubble by yourself. There's so many reasons to just connect with people. It's good for you mentally, emotionally, socially anyway. So for me, it's connecting with people, having fun. I love to go to the beach. I love riding my bicycle. I'm a fitness enthusiast, so anything outdoors, anything about movement, adrenaline, these are the things that really, truly make me happy.
And why do you see these as, you know, like important aspects of your life?
When I think about living a holistic life, being physically active supports you mentally and emotionally, giving you that mental strength, that mental tenacity to move through the other elements of your life. And then that spiritual connection as well, connecting with your body, connecting with your mind, being able to really focus. I think it helps me with my clarity.
Yeah.
Movement really helps me with my clarity. It helps me to think deeper. It helps me to innovate as well. Ideas come. I might be walking, I might be writing, and things are just popping off in my head. So
Yeah.
movement really helps you to move in different ways.
And hopefully move in the right direction.
In the right direction.
Now, I told the audience that you are a shining star, and I am sure that, you know, when they see this, they're going to think the same. Celia, thank you so much for joining us here today on Positive Profiles. It has indeed been a pleasure chatting with you. I mean, you've given me so much insight. Plus, I feel like I can go out and pick up my racket. I can meet you at Folkestone
Ready.
one of these Sundays, and we can get a little knockabout.
That'll be fun.
I just got one more question.
Sure.
Overhand or underhand serve?
Overhand.
Ah, okay, good. You with it. This has been another episode of Positive Profiles. I'm your host, Rashid Holder, and we definitely enjoyed our discussion here today with Celia Collymore, owner and senior project specialist with Bajan Fusion. Join us again on our next episode.